Alright YouTube, what's going on? Coming back at you with another knife video today. Today we're looking at a top 5. I recently did a top 10 EDC fixed blade video. I'm not going to do 10 knives, I'm going to do 5 folding knives that I carry more than any other knife. These are my top 5. Yours can very well vary, but there's some really good choices, and I'm pretty sure you'll see some common denominators here among people that carry knives. So let's start with the probably my oldest. And I say oldest, this one's actually not that old, but I've had many variations of this exact knife. The Chris Reeve Sebenza. This is the large carbon fiber Insingo. This is my favorite Sebenza variation that's ever been made. I've had quite a few in my day. I've collected them at one point, and this is still the one that I prefer to carry. I've had this in a large and a small variant. I like the large just because it fits my hand better than the small. Gives you a nice good amount of blade, and it's not very heavy for this size of a knife. You also get the typical Chris Reeve fit and finish. This one has a very smooth action, solid lockup, and a great blade shape for EDC. The Insingo is awesome. And S35VN, which is one of my favorite steels for EDC. And this one has recently been touched up, I think. Yeah, looks pretty sharp. So there you go, Chris Reeve Sebenza, large carbon fiber Insingo. This is the Knife Art exclusive. So that's probably the one I've had the most of and carried the most of. Number 2 has been the the Zero Tolerance 808. This is a variation that I got in a trade. It's got some anodization done to it. You'll see how much I carry this knife by looking at the scales. You can tell that there's a good amount of scratches and wear on that. This is one of my most commonly carried knives. It's just one of the perfect size knives in my opinion. Again, S35VN steel, one of my favorite EDC steels. You can see the blade has quite a bit of wear and tear on it too. Very smooth action, great flipper, very comfortable in the hand, just such a great knife. I've reviewed this one a long time ago, and I've come back to this one many times. I've sold some, got them back, sold some, got them back, and this is one I just always come back to. So it's still one of my favorite designs, the Todd Rexford design. Love the blade shape. Again, that kind of that Warncliffe-ish type blade, I think is a really good blade for EDC. So there you go, Zero Tolerance 808. Number 3, I'm going to go with the Paramilitary 2. This could easily have been 1 or 2, obviously. I have had a ton of variations of this knife. I've had this exact S110V model a few times, and this is one I always end up buying. I sell it because they're easy to sell if I need to sell a knife, but I always end up buying another one, and this time it's not going anywhere unless some awesome carbon fiber one or something comes out, which is rumored through KnifeWorks with M4 steel. But for now, the Blurple, they call it, S110V, has been my favorite variation of the Paramilitary 2. Super smooth action, great super steel, awesome steel. Great edge geometry on the Paramilitary 2. It's a great slicer. More than enough blade to do any task you're going to need to do. Super comfortable handle. You just can't go wrong with the Paramilitary 2. I've been saying it for years, and we'd be willing to bet it's one of the top 5 EDC knives of ever by anyone. It's just up there that so many people love the Paramilitary 2. I love the compression lock. The size, the ergonomics are phenomenal. Great jimping up here. You got a forward choil here. It's just a phenomenal knife, and not a lot needs to be said about it because it's such a great seller for Spyderco, and it's such a popular knife. I just love these Blurple scales. I think they're really cool. They're kind of translucent, and can't go wrong with a Paramilitary 2, guys. You just can't go wrong with one. Okay, the next 2 are actually newer carries. One of them a variant of an older knife, and we'll go on to that one next, which is the Benchmade 940-2. And I just got this knife, but I've had many 940s, 943s. I've carried this type of knife so many times, and as soon as I got this variation with the nice smooth G10 scales, the green standoffs, good old S30V steel, great steel, and this one is just super smooth and perfect centering on that one. No blade play. Just a great variation, a great example of a Benchmade. And it's such a good size. Nice thin blade, also a good slicer. Just a perfect size for my hand. The 940 is, again, one of those knives that it's going to be in a lot of people's top 40s, or top 40s, 940, top 5 to 10 EDC knives ever carried. I do have a deep carry clip coming, which I think will make this knife even better. And overall, this is, like I said, my favorite variation of the 940, and it's one that has kicked other knives right out of my EDC rotation, and it's one I've carried quite often since I got it. So, Benchmade 940-2. The next one is a newcomer also, and it kicked one of my favorite ZT knives out of my pocket for the first knife that's ever been able to do that. This is the Kaiser Rattler. I just recently reviewed this knife, and I love this thing, man. It is so good. It has just so many awesome aspects to it. It's a great size. It has tons of blade. It's got a nice, S35 again on the steel. That's like majority of my knives. Nice smooth action. It's got really good ergonomics. It fits my hand perfectly. It's a good size, and it's got super smooth action. It's some fun to flip, and it's just a gorgeous looking knife with this intricate milling on the scales, the purple highlights. I mean, it's something like looks like you'd send out to be pimped or something, and it's a factory knife from Kaiser. So I love the Rattler. This has been definitely one has kicked out this knife, the ZT0095, out of my daily rotation. They're similar in they have the same steel, and they're flippers and they're on bearings. The ZT has quite the action. Well, they're pretty comparable. But what I like about the Kaiser is it's got a smaller handle, but just as much blade. The blade to handle ratio is better for me. They're both super smooth flippers, and I'll still carry this 0995 a lot. But excuse me, it was one of my top knives I always reached for in the knife drawer, and it's kind of been, like I said, been bumped out by the Rattler. So this has kind of taken its place. Just the size is just a little better for me. It's a little bit lighter weight, and it has just as much blade. Same steel, so it was kind of a just an easy choice. And the texturing on this, with this milling on the titanium, actually gives you a lot better grip too. So this thing just locks in your hand. You don't feel like it's going anywhere. So again, big fan of the Rattler. Also big fan of the 990095. But that is my top 5, guys. That is the 5 knives I carry the most. Now, like I mentioned, subject to change. Let's get the lineup back in here for a group shot. But I can tell you right now that a couple of these won't get kicked out anytime soon. The Sebenza is going to always be, it's my favorite EDC knife ever. The Paramilitary 2 is probably going to always be in there, and I would say even the 940. The 808, I mean, I may actually send this off to get it anodized by Blades We Love and do something different with it, because it's got some scratches on the scales, which, it's good, adds character, but might be one that I send off and carry something else. I've got quite a few knives in recently for reviews, and I carry those too. But again, these are the top 5 that I reach for, that I carry the most. And it says a lot that a couple of these are older designs that have been around a long time. They're just newer variations, the 940 and -2 and the Paramilitary 2. That says a lot about those knives. That it's just something that continues to make its way back into my EDC, and it's something that I'll probably stick with, because they're just exceptional designs, and they've been around for a long time, and I don't see them going anywhere. But subject to change on some of these others, but right now this is the 5 that I carry the most and that I use the most, and you can't go wrong with any of these knives. There's a huge difference in price though. High end on the Sebenza, middle range on the rest, I would say. None of them are budget knives, none of them are, customs or mid-techs, but the Sebenza is obviously on the highest price range. The other ones are all really similar in price. So that's going to wrap up this video, guys. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your top 5 are. Love to see some responses to that. Just your top 5 everyday carry blades, the ones you carry the most. I'd love to see that. So thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.